watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television. Yay!
For the community, by the community.
Hello and welcome back to Home Chat, your local show about home, house and garden. My name is Katja Dunn. I'm a local realtor with William Revis. And today we are going to talk about how to declutter your mind and how to declutter your space. I also invited a student from one of my classes I'm teaching about decluttering and organizing, and her name is Elaine. Elaine, thanks for being here today.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you. And before we get started with our Decluttering Your Mind and Space session, I will tell you a little bit about the real estate market, how the real estate market has been doing the past 3 months, and I'm sure you are interested to see what happened out there. We are still very busy, that's the good news, and that should comfort you. And if you look at the graph we will plant in, I will explain that graph a little bit to you. So this graph shows some data for the West Hartford real estate market for the past 3 months and compares it to the prior 3 months and the same period last year. I have included homes in the $250,000 to $600,000 price range. The chart shows some good news. The spring market bounced back from a slow winter market, which is typical for the real estate market. But the real good news is that 59 more homes sold in 2010 than in the same period in 2009. So that's almost 50% increase. The other good news is that homes appear to be more reasonably priced. The average sale price is about the same as last year, but the listing prices have found almost $20,000. This means that homes on the market today are going to sell closer to their listing price than what was happening a year ago. Homes are also moving off the market a little bit faster than a year ago, and with the average days on the market dropping from actually 69 days to 63 days. So that's all good news too, because it means that the market is turning around. Homes sell a little quicker, and it's a sign of a good and active market and a healthy market. Well, I promised you that we will talk about how to declutter your mind and how to declutter your space. We will have 2 sessions. This session will, as I said, we're going to define clutter, and we're going to define space and your mind a little bit. And then the next session next month will be more about paperwork, attic, space, and basement. What does clutter really mean, and what does clutter really causes us to do? I want to give you 6 techniques to eliminate mental clutter. And I'm going to call it mental clutter because if our space is cluttered, we are not trying hard enough to identify our priorities. And we all have a very hectic life, many things to do, many things to get done. Some are more important than others. For comparison, I noticed if I have to clean my house and if I haven't done it for a week and I have this dusting in mind, but I also have to prepare a presentation for work, what should be always first? Dusting is still in my mind, still in my head. I know I want to get it done, but what should always come first would be, in this case, your presentation for work. If we live in a cluttered space, our mind will always be cluttered. Another good way to get control is not to stretch yourself too thin. get one task done at a time and don't commit to too much. Learn to say no. I know we all have been asked, and we are asked a lot. People ask us to help out. People ask us to volunteer. People ask us to support them in certain ways. But it is okay to say no. It is okay to get control about your own life first before you reach out to somebody else, because you're gaining more energy. One of the most important things for myself, which helped me the most, and again, I'll let Elaine talk about this later a little bit too, is it's my to-do list. A to-do list has to get done every night. That's a strong recommendation, of course. How can you benefit from a to-do list? And now a to-do list is another task. A to-do list can be a great motivator. A to-do list can have an immediate reinforcement just to check off those things off your to-do list. And you are going to see immediate results. Whatever is written down is out of your mind and it's on a piece of paper. And you will set your priorities and you will get your stuff done. Mostly, and that's what I heard people saying during my decluttering classes, is the last things sometimes don't get done on that same day, but that's okay, because you can transfer those last items to your new to-do list, which you will create. Same thing right before you go to bed. Elaine, have you ever done a to-do list? And
I actually have.
Oh, tell us a little bit about it.
I do that in the evening, and I will write down things that I want to accomplish the next day. And it is a good feeling when you can check it off and say, I've done it. But I don't stress if something doesn't get done, and I'll just move it. I try to prioritize and get the most important things that I know need to get done.
Great, thank you. And that's the feeling I'm getting too. I mean, just to have it out of the way. And a to-do list, I'm trying to, if you go shopping, we all have a shopping list, right? Same thing. So we write down what we need, and we go to the grocery store from shelf to shelf, and we check it off. And we know that we purchased what we need for the following week or weekend. Another very good thing is, and Elaine, I'm going to ask you later a question too, because you raise children as well. It is very difficult for all of us, I'm sure, to delegate. But it is okay to delegate. I remember my great aunt, she taught me how to mop a floor. That happened many years ago. But it's a task which I picked up once and became very handy, by the way, for my mother, and also now for my family. It's okay to teach our children to work. It is okay to teach our children's tasks, because they will need certain tasks by growing up. They're going to go to college. They're going to have their own little room. They're going to have their own apartment. Let's masterpiece our to-do list. We could masterpiece it by age. We could make it fit to the members of our household. And you will see that suddenly your to-do list will be much smaller, because you are able to give up a few of your things. Remember, if you give something to children, it might not satisfy you. The result might not satisfy you, but that is okay. My biggest issue is if I make my children's bed, and I know I shouldn't do this at their age anymore, but I do it because I just cannot see a sloppy made bed. And now I'm hurting myself, because I know it is important for children to learn that too. So that should be out of the way. That piece should be on my children's to-do list. And so little things, give it up. Ask your children to help you. Mowing the grass, mowing the lawn. I am sure they like to do this. Maybe not. But it would be something you could give away. You could give away the weeding. You could give away dusting. Dusting is something very easy for children to do. Elaine, how did it? I know you raised a daughter. Have you ever asked your daughter? Did she help in?
My daughter started helping when she was very young. And I have to say that even at the age of 3, she wanted, because young children tend to really want to help and do housework and things like that. And I would let her even wash the mirrors and clean things. And it would be her hand on it and cleaning. And there'd be
Right.
fingerprints everywhere when she was done, and I might have to go over it later when she wasn't around. But she felt there's a great sense of accomplishment in contributing and got used to doing things to help out around the house. So as she got older, it wasn't such a task to have to ask her for help. She would just do it. And she even started doing laundry at 14 on her own and has been
Unbelievable.
doing it ever since. So,
So it became a habit. So you taught
yes,
her
it
well.
became a habit.
A habit. That's wonderful. I mean, that's great. And children have to be raised this way, and it really does help us.
And it helps them for when they're living on their own. And
Yes.
when she went off to college, a lot of taking care of things on her own wasn't so new.
Exactly, it wasn't so new anymore. I had a friend telling me something very similar. She said, I taught my daughter to cook, and my mom taught me to cook. And she said, when I went off to college, I was the one who always had to serve cooking because I was the only one who knew how to cook.
Right.
And I said, wow. So great things. It's good to give up and to keep our to-do list a little smaller, and it's the right thing to do. We talked about clutter and how your mind can be cluttered and affected by your clutter at home. You see, if I walk into my house and everything